Welcome to the Youth Advisory Commission meeting, January 17th, 2022. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you guys had a good holidays. We do have a pretty loaded agenda to go through. We made some strides and decisions at last meeting in reference to some things we're moving forward with and some things of that sort. We have Chloe, we haven't seen you before, so this is your first time with us, so welcome. Happy to have you. And just as a reminder to all of you, being that we are doing this virtually, please be sure that when you are speaking, you state your name, or if we're going through a vote, you guys state your name so that we know whom is who. And then for those of you, if we are voting on an approval of minutes from last month's meeting and you were not here, you would have to abstain that vote. So with that being said, like I said, we have a lot of things to go through this evening. So without further ado, Feng-Yi, I'll hand it off to you.
Right, so I'm a bit rusty at this. So do I just say I call this meeting to order at the start? So I, Feng-Yi Huang, call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. This doesn't need a second, right? Or
nope, you're good to go.
All right. So first of all, can we all please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So next on agenda is roll call. So Feng-Yi Huang present, Crystal Huang.
Present.
Chloe.
Present.
Nia.
Present.
Nidhi.
Present.
Nitya.
Present.
Rachel.
Present.
And I believe that's everybody. So next would be approval of the agenda. So may I get a motion to approve the agenda for January 13th, 2022?
Sorry, Feng-Yi. So we skipped the seating of alternates. You're going to go ahead and state it, but we're not seating any because we're fully booked up here. So you can go ahead and state it, stating that we're not seating alternates. Then you can move on to the next item.
Oh, apologies.
No problem.
All right. So all members are here today, so there will be no seating of alternates. All right. And then can we get a motion to approve the agenda for January 13th, 2022? I believe that Anthony sent it out to all of us. So if we want to take a look at that.
I, Rachel Plummer, motion.
Can we get a second?
I, Crystal Huang, second the motion.
All right. All in favor say aye. Feng-Yi, aye. Crystal.
Aye.
Chloe.
Aye.
Nia.
Aye.
Nidhi.
Aye.
Nitya.
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. So next, can we get approval of meeting minutes for last month's meeting, December 9th, 2021? I believe Anthony sent that out as well, so if you could all take a look at that.
Just a reminder, if you were not at last month's meeting, you would be abstaining your vote on this one. So can we get a motion, please?
I, Rachel Plummer, motion.
I, Feng-Yi Huang, second.
So Feng-Yi, you would actually.
Oh wait, I'm not allowed
from
to
that second because you
yeah.
So anybody else, if you weren't at the last meeting, you cannot motion or second, and you would have to abstain your.
Oh.
I abstain.
So we would need a
second.
second before we can go to vote. Sorry, guys.
I, Crystal Huang, second the motion.
Thank you.
So all in favor, say aye. Fangy, abstain. Crystal,
I,
Chloe,
Abstain. I abstain.
Nia,
Aye.
Nidhi,
Aye.
Nitya,
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes. So then next item on the agenda would be public forum. Interested public members may provide comments to the commission on any subject not on the agenda via Zoom. Commenters may state their name and address for the record and shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes or less as determined by the chair. As an unagendized item, no response is required of the commission or city staff. However, the commission may request staff to agendize the item for a future meeting. Is there anybody from the public forum here today?
Yes, we have one. IT, if you don't mind, once we start, we'll go ahead and give them their timer. So I'm going to let them know.
Thank you very much to the Youth Advisory Commission. I wanted to address the Youth Advisory Commission with regards to developing the internship, fellowship programs for the city of Milpitas. It is becoming more and more every day. It is becoming more and more important that the youth be addressing that, what are the different internship, partnership, and a fellowship program that's been ongoing within the city, county, as well as state, and within the federal jurisdiction. I also request the Youth Advisory Commission to consider the Congressional Gold Medal Awards program as well as the App Challenge program that is to be adhered by the city, as all the programs that is required to be implemented within the city of Milpitas provide the youth development and as well as the grantship in order to participate with the different levels, not just within the city. Also, it allows the development not just the development to come to the Youth Advisory Commission. It also expands the opportunity for the youth to interact with the different diversified culture, as well as allowing the city to be represented by the Youth Advisory Commission to different agencies. Also, more importantly, when programs, particularly the federal level programs like Presidential Management Fellowship, as well as the Office of Foreign Mission Fellowships, they allow the youth to go at different levels by becoming a participant of the city. Also, they need to participate with the diplomat in residence as well. The city must adhere the diplomat in residence and also converse with the diplomat in residence in order to adhere the programs of the Office of Foreign Missions. Moreover, when all the organizations that are participating at the state and the federal level, they also allow the opportunity for the youth not just to become a participant of that, also allowing them to become the self-oriented resident as well as the self-oriented self-diplomats and ambassador of the cities as well. Thank you very much for the consideration of comments.
Thank you for your time. All right, Fengi, you can go ahead.
All right. So do we talk about the public forum?
So there's no response that you're required to give. However, the commission, you guys can request to agendize the item for a future meeting if you choose to do so.
So, commissioners, what are your thoughts on this? For me, I think we could probably agendize this for a future meeting. Just think about think about what was the information that was given to us. Sorry.
So I think what may be helpful too, Fangy, is if there's something in particular that was said that you want to agendize, if you want to bring that up here so that we can consider that for future agenda items.
Got it. First of all, does anybody else have any thoughts regarding this?
I think we could like at least try to agendize this, like what you said about the fellowship between youths in Milpitas.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Crystal. We can use that information to kind of like plan for our future events and such. Any
Okay.
other questions? All right. So in order to agendize this for a future meeting, would I need to hold a vote for it?
Yeah, you would need to make a motion for what specifically you're looking to agendize. And then we would take that to a vote.
Pardon me, how do you say your last name, Mr. I'm not quite sure how to address.
We could just say the comment from the public forum. I believe the last name is Meta.
Meta. All right. So I motion to agendize the information given through public forum in order for our next meeting, specifically the information on building fellowship among the teens in our community. May I get a second?
I, Nidhi Kaki, second that motion.
All right. All in favor say aye. Fangy, aye. Crystal,
Aye.
Chloe,
Aye.
Nia, Nidhi,
Aye.
Nitya,
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. So then are there any other members of the public forum, or is that it?
Oh, that was the only one.
All right, got it. So then next order of business would be announcements. So are there any announcements from the city council?
I don't have any announcements right now, but if we, at the end of the agenda, myself along with council member will have the opportunity to provide those. So if this announcement opportunity is for you as the commission, if there's any announcements that you have, and if not, we can move forward.
Are there any announcements from the commissioners? All right, it seems not, so we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, business items. So first for business items is our work plan for 2021 to 2022. So background, at the beginning of each fiscal term, the Youth Advisory Commission develops a work plan for the upcoming term. This plan encompasses goals for the commission. Preparation of this work plan will be presented to City Council for approval. So recommendation, create a timeline for all items on the work plan to be completed. This timeline should include dates, times, and venues. So for just the first item would be the health and mental wellness. The members of the commission are me, Rachel, and Ania. So for what is our status on this event?
Yeah, so real quick before you all get started, what we'll want to do here is I would suggest that we go through item by item and provide any sort of updates, any sort of information that we would need, and then we can talk about what action items we need moving forth. So as we go through this, we can go item by item. And we can talk about the things that you all have come up with from the last meeting or the meeting prior up until now, so that we can start getting some cement things locked in as far as what needs to be done and what action items need to be placed.
So kind of just go through the entire list.
Correct.
All right. So for our work plan, we currently have health and mental wellness, a coding competition, spelling bee, and those are the main 3 events that we have, not including the youth advisory scholarship.
Right. So for those of you that were in that subcommittee, do we have any updates as to the things that you've worked on through the last couple meetings to now? I know we had discussed coming up with some tips and tricks. Did you have any sort of items that you wanted to bring up that you found? I know that we had discussed trying to find the Club Rush date, if we have that available to us, and then just overall needs that you may have as well.
Regarding the club rushes at Milpitas High School, the new clog rush is coming up soon. And sorry, I just needed to very quickly get that info. Does anybody else on the subcommittee, Nia, Rachel, do you have anything to say?
Trying to look in my email for the dates of Clog Rush, but I don't know if they've released them yet, because it looks like they're saying that they're planning for them currently, but I don't think they've released a date at this point. I don't know.
So then I think what could be a good action item for you as the group or the subcommittee is to look into, maybe reach out to Mr. Manejo and see if there's been some information that's been put forth, or even an idea of when that potentially could be. That would allow for you all to have a better timeline to accomplish what you need to do and figure out the items that you need to complete as you guide towards that.
Oh, actually, I just found it. So I'm in the Milpitas High School Clogs Discord and Google Classroom, and Clog Rush will be from January 24th to January 28th. So it's going to be those 5 days in the week.
Okay, so what that means is that that is coming up really, really, really quick. Basically a week and a half from now. So I know that the last 2 meetings, for those that were here, there was some items and things that were discussed in reference to what wanted to be put forth. We talked about brainstorming some ideas for physical activity, and guided meditation for students to participate in during spring finals, for better mental health and things of that sort. So at this time, we really need to put together quickly what those things would be, so that we can have those as an opportunity to pass those out at Club Rush. I believe Mr. Maneja had reached out in reference to clogs to myself, and seeing if there could be a table, if there is a table opportunity for the Teen Center and then also YAC. I think that would be a good opportunity to do so. So with that being said, there is some items that we need to finish and complete now in preparation for that rush. And if we do feel that it is something that may be a little bit too tight of a timeline, it is okay for us to take a vote if we want to push out when we want to give out that information, but that is completely up to you as the commission to do so. I just know that that's a tight timeline, being that you all weren't at school for the last week. It also puts a little bit of hindrance on that as well. So just something to really think about right now at this point in time.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. So my thoughts on this are we could potentially try to push it out a bit, especially since with all of the things going on at school. I think they discussed at the last board meeting that there still might be a probability that have to stay home. I know there are students who are continuing independent studies even past next week. And regarding the club rush, I'm also not sure whether we need to push information out at that date, because there's a few clubs that promote mental health and wellness as well. And we kind of don't want to like steal their spotlight, I guess you could say. Commissioners, do you have any thoughts regarding this?
Sorry if there's background noise, but I think that I don't know if we would have enough time to like make something a table for the teen center, because I'm not really sure what that would entail, and I don't know if we would want to have like a staff member there too or something. But I feel like we could do something for like a yak table, like a small table, just like saying what we are, and like be like, if you want your opinion heard, then come to public forum. And like we can also advertise the fact that we do have an alternate spot available that's available for people who want to get into this and like have their opinion be heard. So
Thanks, Rachel. Yeah, sorry if I wasn't clear. I meant that there'd be an opportunity for multiple tables. So Teen Center, and then also if you all wanted to have a space for Yak, that opportunity would be presented to you if you should do so, to which I can reach out to Mr. Mineja for you. Fengi does bring up a good point with the kind of unknown if you will be going back to school physically at that point in time. That does create a little bit of I guess uncertainty for that point in time. Something that might be a good idea for you to think about as well is maybe this is something that you put forth that can be distributed online as an opportunity for students to review. It could be a PDF of, you know, some tips and tricks that you put together, and that can be distributed. Being that there is a little bit of an uncertainty as to when you're potentially going back to school, if things may, you know, you may go back, you may not go back, that would potentially provide you with an opportunity to get information out to those that you need to. In reference to Yak in general, though, Rachel, I think it's a great idea that you all continue to advocate for Yak, continue to educate students on what, you know, Yak is and what opportunities are available to them as well. So
Definitely. I don't know if we have a social media set up for Yak, but I was also thinking like we could potentially distribute like post a flyer on Instagram. There's a lot of organizations that do that to spread the word, and like a flyer with a little checklist saying what types of things we can do to preserve mental health, what type of resources there are. I feel like that would be very nice at getting the word out.
I think that as you look at that too, what may be a little bit more direct is if it's something that's distributed directly to students. You know, we do have the ability as we send out different flyers and different information that it does get distributed out to the entire school, which goes student to student. That may be, you may reach more people that way. If it's like a direct PDF, one pager of tips and tricks on those things, I think that may help you as well. And then looking long-term, we could look into seeing how and if we can do anything through social media that kind of does the same steps, if you will.
Yeah, I believe that we also have the ability to email every student. So I think that is also we can't. I believe that is it Ms. Canez that distributes the information to Milpitas High School?
There's multiple avenues, Ms. Canez, Mr. Mineja, you know, that can funnel through. There's a lot of different funnels or avenues that we can take. I think what's most important here is to figure out if we want to change or request for change for that in lieu of kind of the uncertainty with coming back to school. I think that may be if that's something that you all want to do, that may be a good idea, because then you're able to distribute out information now rather than wait if Club Rush gets pushed out or if you all are held home from school. So yeah.
All right. So regarding that, if I think that we could probably make like a list of mental health tips and tricks, I guess you call it, and like also a list of resources that students can have, and try to push that out like online, so that we don't really have to deal with the uncertainty that COVID and a possible quarantine will bring.
Yeah, I think what could be good for those of you that are in the subcommittee and even commissioners in general, if you all wanted to email me, kind of similar to what we did last year with the finals. I believe it was finals. Rachel, correct me if I'm wrong, when we handed out the stuff from the teen center, when you guys did the little finals packets, and it was kind of like uplifting kind of quotes and things of that sort. If you all wanted to send me those, I could put them all together, snippet them all together and put them into a PDF, and then we can work to distribute it out. I think that that may be a good opportunity to take advantage of, if that's something we wanted to do. If you wanted to, move forward with that, we can look to get that information, to me by, I would say, next Wednesday or so. Maybe that can give me a couple days to where I can distribute it the following week, and it can still get out in time for Club Rush, but not physically, there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. If all the commissioners could give like some of their best mental health tips that they find online or have from their own personal experiences, as well as any resources that we know of. And so Anthony, if we send them to you, you can compile them into like a list format.
Yeah, I can just put them together for you and make it kind of a PDF or flyer style to where it can go and get emailed out to students. I don't see that as an issue.
Yeah, that seems like an excellent idea. So Nia, Rachel, how do you feel about this, as you two and I are on the subcommittee?
I think putting out a PDF of like nice quotes would be good. And like other tips that we can just contribute. Nia, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. And at Rancho, we can post this on our daily morning announcement slides.
Would we need a motion or anything to do that?
I believe you would have to vote on that because we're making a small change to how we're pushing forth that work plan item. So yes.
So I, Feng Huang, motion to adjust mental health and wellness, or health and mental wellness, in order to compile a list of tips and tricks, as well as a list of resources, and send them via online means. May I get a second?
A second.
All in favor say aye. Fengy, aye. Crystal, Chloe,
Aye.
Nia,
Aye.
Nidhi,
Aye.
Nitya,
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. So then are there any other thoughts about the health and mental wellness before we move on?
So I kind of wanted to address an idea you brought up, Fangy. So if we are permitted to have social media accounts for this commission, I feel like an Instagram account would be highly effective in reaching a large audience, as a lot of people use Instagram, and it would very easily gain followers if we got the word out. And it would be a really instantaneous way to reach a lot of students once we gained a following. And so that could be a good way to push out like resources to students if we so choose.
I think that was something that was discussed in the previous commission years too. I need to double check and see if that's something that's actually possible. So I'll put that on my to-do list to see if we factually can have something that is specific to the Youth Advisory Commission with social media. So I'll put that on my action items to check.
All right, so we have to basically check whether we're allowed to have a social media account for Youth Advisory Commission.
Yeah, I would need to check with our IS department to see if that's something we can do. I'm not sure from the city perspective what can or cannot be done from the social media aspect. So it's something I'll have to check into a little bit deeper, and I can bring that back to our February meeting to see what is possible.
And this wouldn't need a vote to be put on the February meeting, right?
No, because that's an action item. I would follow that up with my announcements and updates.
All right, got it. Thank you very much, Anthony. All right, are there any other thoughts about this event? All right, it seems not. So we'll move on to the coding competition. So the members of this subcommittee are myself, sorry,
I believe it's Nitty
yeah, because on
and not Nitya, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's Nitty
Nitty, and I'm not sure who.
and Chris. No, not Crystal.
On the agenda it says John, but
It's Elizabeth.
Oh yes, correct. Yep, it's Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth.
He's not
So
here.
yeah, so it seems like the plan is for it to be on March 19th, 2022 from 2:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Teen Center. So what are there any updates from the subcommittee? I know for myself, I saw how last year's coding competition went, and I don't know if we actually partnered with anybody for the competition. And for the coding competition judges, I'm not sure whether we used real judges. Had a website that the competitors could access, and they would solve coding problems using their own code. If their code was valid and completed the problem, it would just let them advance to the next problem, and basically the people who could do the most problems right were awarded. So I'm not sure if we'll need actual judges regarding that.
Okay, so with that being said, we'll need to figure out as a group who's going to be putting together those problems, how we want to facilitate everything. There's a good amount of information that we need to get from you all in order to push that forth, because yeah, we would need to dial in a lot of information on those items.
So let's see. I still have the information from the previous coding competition, if that would help out.
Yeah, I think what's also going to be important is to know how we're going to execute. So we'll really need to figure out who's going to be putting forth the problems and everything, from A to Z of that extent. What's needed as far as putting together the information, where the information is broadcasted, how it's facilitated. We're really going to need to figure out that stuff.
So I believe the platform that we can use is called HackerRank, which allows us to set up a coding competition. This is the one that we used for the 2019 coding competition. And as for problems, I do have a website from a few of my classes that have various coding problems, and I could kind of like assort them into different levels of difficulty, because I know that we should probably sort contestants by general grade level, like middle schoolers and high schoolers. So have like a different problem set for middle schoolers and different one for high schoolers. The middle school one being a little bit easier.
Yeah, so on the minutes, if we take a look, so we have 3 different groups. We have a 4th through 6th grade, a 7th through 9th grade, and a 10th through 12th grade. So it would have to be within those realms. We'll have to figure out how many, questions we're looking at for each. We're going to really want to think blank canvas here as to everything that needs to be put forth in order for us to execute this.
So commissioners, do you have any thoughts regarding this?
Is there a certain time frame for each problem, or is it whoever wins is it by like how many problems they get right in a time frame?
So the way that the scoring works, I believe, is that you have like a list. You have a list of problems that you can see every single one of the problems. Each one is worth a different number of points. So we ordered them so the first few problems are worth the least points, but they're the easiest problems, and the last few problems were the hardest ones and were worth the most points. So essentially the people who had the most points would win the prizes.
So I think a way to look at it too is for each grouping, we have an hour and a half. So what may be good to think about is the execution of each one of these problems, how that fits, to that. You're going to also want to think what time when it starts, getting people set up, ensuring that we're giving enough time to go through all the problems, or giving them the time to at least, have a chance to go through all the problems. So that's where we're going to want to be very specific in the amount of problems that we want to look at, and how they're kind of put together and divided. I think that it would be good if, the subcommittee would put that information together so that we can come to the next meeting in February and solidify all of the items so that we know exactly what is being asked. We have the questions, we have the timing to where everything makes sense when we get to that March event, because we will have 2 more meetings before then as well. So we still have some time to do some things, but I also think that there's a lot of work to be discussed here this evening.
All right. So regarding this, I think I can start putting together a template for this. And Nidhi, I can invite you to like a Google document, and we can put down all our ideas on it and bring it to the next meeting.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So I would need to table this for next month's meeting, right?
So you decided on that Nidhi and yourself will be working on the questions. Did I hear that correctly? Sorry.
Just putting together like a template for the event, like
Okay.
just like a tentative schedule and
Okay.
what types of things we would need.
Okay. So we all have the minutes. I would reference that hour-and-a-half time slot to figure out what you're putting in between. I will reiterate and stress that this meeting, it's very important to assign or figure out whom is going to be putting together the questions so that you all have those ready. You know exactly what information you need in preparation for that. You're going to want to think about the setup of the space and what you're putting where. People will be working in groups. So let's just, like I said, think blank canvas and push all of those through as you're thinking this and planning for this.
All right, definitely. So I believe that I can put together like an assortment of questions, and we can kind of go through and decide which ones we're going to use for which divisions. Is that okay with you, Nidhi?
Yes.
Right. So then, this one.
So as far as as bandwidth thingy, you're going to be okay with putting together all the questions for each division. I know that, you know, you have Nia, I believe. I'm sorry, Nidhi. And then if there's any other things that you're going to want to think of as far as how we're putting things together, you're going to take care of that, Nidhi, as far as the template is what you're saying. Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
So would we need to vote on this in any means?
You would not need to vote on those, no.
All right.
As far as who's doing that information, I would suggest that we do come prepared for that next meeting, so we can talk about the full scope of the event. We'll get all the information kind of figured out, put down, and then we'll have one more meeting in March before the actual event itself.
All right, got it. Are there any other comments, questions, concerns from the other commissioners regarding the coding competition? Or any final thoughts? All right, it seems not. So then we'll move on to the next item on our work plan, which is going to be the spelling bee. So I believe that for this, the people on the subcommittee were Crystal, Rachel, and Nia. So are there any updates regarding the spelling bee?
So anyone from that subcommittee, feel free.
I made a list of some words that we can use for the spelling bee.
Sorry, say that again.
I made a list of some words we can use for the spelling bee.
Okay. So we have, for the spelling bee, we have grades 1 through 3, 4 through 6. And I think that those were the divisions. Yeah, so 1st through 3rd, 4th through 6th. So we'll want to think, you know, with your lists, do you have them present? Can we kind of get an idea of what you got going?
So for my list, I didn't know really how to do it, so I just kind of like made a list and I added them into a few categories. And then for each word, I had like a sentence that accompanied it, so I could understand what the meaning I was talking about.
Yeah, so we'll want to think of, you know, those word lists, the sentence, whether it's a noun, adjective, things of that sort. That all needs to be pieced together. And again, being that one's in April, we do have some time, but we'll want, I mean, I do highly encourage so that we don't load up our meetings to have that information ready. So I think that we said that we have the divisions. So the 1st through 3rd grade is going to be from 5 to 6:30 at the community center. And then 4th to 6th will be at the teen center at 7. So there will be a little bit of moving over. I don't know if you guys are familiar with where the community center is. I'm sorry, where the community center is and the teen center is. It's actually right next door to each other. So we'll be able to set up in both of those spaces. So we did talk about what you just said with the word list. How many words do you have?
I didn't count yet.
Okay, can you total that up really quickly if you don't mind, so we can get an idea? And then as far as anybody else in that subcommittee, Rachel, Nia, if you had any information, feedback on how we wanted to execute it, as far as the setup and things. Again, we're going to want to think very blank canvas here as we prepare and put this together. Timelines, just like how Nidhi talked about, maybe putting together a template on how the night's going to look, what needs to be done as we're leading up to it, and things of that sort.
Yeah, I also like to point out where I liked Anthony, I like how you brought up the fact that we probably also need sentences and details regarding the words, because in most spelling bees, there's a few questions you can ask regarding the word, like, can you please use it in a sentence? What is the language of origin? What part of speech is it? And what is its definition? So I think those are the main components for each word.
So I think what could be good is the wording could be shared with the rest of the subcommittee if you guys wanted to share it with each other, so that the subcommittee can kind of tackle those other items to ensure that we have them all listed and know exactly what we need.
Aside from that, do we need to like discuss who's going to be judges?
Yes, so it's in there. That's the next item. We'll need to talk about judges that are going through this. We can talk. I'm trying to think of what may be a good idea. Maybe council member would be one of our judges. She's been a great judge for other things that we've had. We also have principals potentially that are available to us. We can really see who may have interest. And I know council member can maybe help us from the council perspective if there's a need.
I can maybe ask the mayor as well. Maybe the mayor would love to do that if he has the time. Just let us know the time. Or is it April 22nd?
Yeah, we have it scheduled
5
for
to
April
8 here.
22nd. Yeah, and it's 2 separate spaces, as I mentioned, but they're right next to each other. So they're not, we can run right across the lawn there and we'll be in the other space.
I would love to go because I would like to wear my black Youth Advisory Commission t-shirt. So I would like to wear that again.
Perfect.
We would need one for the new commissioners, the ones that do not have one.
We would need to see what is available in our holding account, if that's something that we can do. I know that was, as we went through the Youth Advisory Scholarship 2019, that those funds there's a lot of funds that were taken from the scholarship. So we'll have to see where we sit with that, which I can look into as well myself.
Yeah, sure.
So, but to go back to that, Rachel, that is something we'll want to discuss, but again, we'll want to think about that template of how it's going to look, how the night's going to look. Judges, as you said, that's a good point as well. And just think about the A to Z of the things that we would need for that night. So based upon the information that, I heard, thank you, Fanny, for the suggestion, to Crystal as well. The rest of the subcommittee, it may be a good opportunity for you all to put forth all of the wording in one specific space, break them up by division for the word difficulty, and then add, the language of origin, putting into a sentence, what type of word it is, things of that sort. I think will be very important and pivotal for you for planning and prepping this, the event. And then the template on the other end of that, again, is the timeline, the judges, and things of that sort. And I think it'll be very important that as we talk about it and discuss, that we do start putting some items to action for our next meeting, to where we can come back with the information as to what's been done.
Another thing regarding spelling bee is other needs. So apart from like the words and judges, other needs would probably incorporate things like what would be the general setup of the spelling bee. I know for like my Rancho spelling bee, they had this thing where the contestant would sit up on stage, and if you got eliminated, you would sit in a separate area at the side of the stage rather.
And no, sorry.
No, I'll go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if you wanted to draw out what you think it would look like, we do have the stage that's available at the community center. I think that stage does move, but we do have can have an elevated space at the teen center. But then drawing out how you want that to look, literally, if that's a piece of paper, if you will, and we can share that, or if you want to do that on the computer, we also can have chairs set up for attendees and how you want that set up and everything of that sort. So this falls in line with both the spelling bee and the coding competition for what your needs are specifically, and really creating that template of all of those items.
Regarding how many words I had on my list, I have around 120.
Okay, so 120, and there's 3 divisions. So that's 40 per division that I guess we would kind of have. And we would want to think about participants, right? If we had 40 participants per division, we'd be out of words pretty quickly. So we're going to want to think about probably adding a good amount more words, just in case. It's always safe to have more words in case things keep going. As you all know, spelling bees can just continue to go. So being prepared for that, being prepared for participation. I can try and do a little bit of research to see at the last spelling bee what the attendance looked like. But I would prepare to add more of those words, and all of you in that subcommittee can add that information. I believe it would be a good idea if maybe you all created a Google Doc to facilitate all of the words, and you can work off that Google Doc to create the template and things of that sort, to where you can keep everything and you guys can look at them and add the things that you need to add.
Are there other comments from members of the spelling bee committee? All right. So then I think that if we can get like information regarding the coding competition spelling bee for next meeting, that would be great.
Yes, I think that is an absolute need for the next meeting, as all your action items, those of you in the subcommittees, to work on those items and have those ready to present, because we're going to run pretty short on time. So if we can really get work on those, that would be very beneficial.
So the next item regarding business items is going to be the Youth Advisory Scholarship. So background, each term, the Youth Advisory Commission awards a service scholarship to a deserving Milpitas resident who is a high school student, junior or senior, outgoing standing. The scholarship in the past was $500 and is annual, presented in June at a city council meeting. YAC members are not eligible for the scholarship. So recommendation, commissioners to discuss events and fundraising opportunities to generate for the scholarship fund based on the 2021 to 2022 work plan. So some of the fundraising opportunities that were discussed are the spelling bee, coding competition, as well as other options that may come up.
Yeah, so we do have a spelling bee and coding competition. There's opportunities to do so. Were there any other ideas that anybody had in reference to fundraising for this to establish more funds as an opportunity? This would be a great chance for you to speak up as to what your ideas may be.
So regarding fundraising opportunities, I think I brought up an idea for the teen center grand reopening that was kind of like selling certain types of food or drinks. But we didn't really have the opportunity to bring that to the teen center. So one of my ideas is possibly at like the spelling bee or coding competition, we could try to partner with with like a place that sells boba or other types of snacks, and and basically set up like a station there where people can buy refreshments and snacks.
A good idea.
I know that I forgot the name of the milk tea place that does this, but they have this program where if you partner with them, they'll give you a lot of milk teas, and part of the proceeds will go to them, but you get to keep like I think $1 or $2 for every milk tea that you sell. I forgot if it was IT or share tea, but I can definitely take a look into that and see what they offer.
Yeah, I think something also to think about too, it doesn't necessarily have to be at your events, right? This is something you could do at school, whether that's having a table, out at lunch or something to that extent. That's a good opportunity as well. So that's something that I would highly think about. And then, yeah, Fengi, if you can do the research into that and bring that to the next meeting as to whom that may be. And that could be reaching out to seeing if they're interested and giving them the information of the dates and what the events are.
Yeah. Commissioners, do you have anything else regarding this?
All right, so this would be a good opportunity. If any of you have some ideas in reference to what may be a good opportunity for some fundraising chances, definitely would be a good time to bring that up so that we can start to do some research on that.
This doesn't go under fundraising, but I do have a question on the spelling bee and the coding competition for the fundraising with selling food and drinks.
Okay, so you're just saying like acquiring food and drinks snacks and drinks and then selling them physically at. Okay.
Yeah, and then like just adding on to that, are we keeping in mind like COVID regulations and how that could impact this setup, or are we just like thinking as if like COVID's not as bad?
Yeah, so that's a great point, and that was something that I was going to bring up in my announcements towards the end, but that is something we definitely would want to consider. There is a slight chance that as things change and evolve, if we don't have the opportunity to run these, that something like that may come up as an issue. But at this point in time, we will plan and do our research as normal with the expectation and hope that we'll be able to do these things. But if we are not able to, then at that point, when that's basically the information is given to me, I definitely can reiterate that to you all as the group. But at this point in time, I would plan to research and do your duties as if these are going to happen.
So regarding fundraising, I'll look into different businesses and what they offer. Reach out to a few of them, see if we can get like a partnership or something like that, and I'll bring that to the next meeting.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't specifically have to be at the events. It can be held at school. That's something that maybe you can speak to, your principal and seeing, what you can and can't do in that situation. If you can have someone come on site and why you're doing the fundraising, that would be something to discuss that I would prepare to bring to the next meeting.
All right, so I'll just mark that down in my own planner. Other commissioners, do you have anything else?
All right.
All right. So then we can move on to the next thing on the agenda. So city liaison reports.
Yeah, so just reporting back to you all, again, Happy New Year. We do have a lot of things that are upon us. Just to give you guys some updates. So the teen center is currently closed right now due to the facility closure. I will have some updates for you all, once that does reopen, so that you can communicate that to the community in reference to that. And I probably will end up sending you all some information via email, to which you can distribute and get out to the teen community as well. I also do want to encourage, as we go through these meetings, I know some of you are new, that we continue to develop and participate within the meetings, and take the opportunity to really put forth some of the great ideas that you have to be able to present them to the rest of the group. But besides that, I'm looking forward to this new year. I'm looking forward to us having some events, and hopefully, as things improve, that we'll have the ability to do so. But that's all I have on my end.
All right, thank you, Anthony. So next would be report from city staff.
Kind of two in the same. So you can go ahead and move forward to the next one.
All right. So next would be report from council member. We have council member Chua here.
Hello, thank you, Chair. And again, Happy New Year to everyone. Great 2022. And I would like to thank you and congratulate you and celebrate with you all the things that you did in 2021. That was my first year with you guys, and I'm just so proud of you. Just the Halloween thing is just amazing, and you guys did the finals week event, and many others that I forgot already, but they are beautiful and wonderful. I still have the pictures. I posted it on my Facebook on the Halloween event, and that was really awesome. And I'm looking forward to another awesome year with you guys and with the new members as well. So let's get going on this one. Pandemic didn't stop you guys. You guys just did it. I just want to personally thank the commissioners, Chair Fengy, and of course, Anthony, thank you very much. Josh, Justin, and John Megan's team on those events that they helped too. So I'm just so proud of all of you. So anyway, this we had a meeting this is going to be brief. We had a meeting last Tuesday, the council meeting, and we approved the ARPA funding. Part of that related to this commission is the youth workforce. It's an apprenticeship internship program for low-income high schoolers. So if you can just disseminate that information to your peers, that would be good. And we'll probably have, Anthony probably would know more later on. It just got approved last Tuesday. It's 40,000 for this youth workforce. If you also know of small businesses, we allocated 1.5 million, $5,000 each for small businesses like daycare, anybody that that was impacted, that's have businesses, please soon we will have a flyer on our city's website. So I'll let you know. And also, which is good, projects, we talk about projects last council meeting. One of the good ones related to this commission is the summer skate park event that will happen where we have the holiday magic on Main Street. That would be, I think, based on what happened last holiday magic, it will be another great event. And the other one that is important, I think, is it got approved. There will be commissioners' appreciation gifts. So yay. So that was approved last Tuesday. So each one of you, either a sweatshirt or something like that, each one of the commissioners will get one. And for the fundraising, I sit on the board of the Silicon Valley Clean Energy, and I was able to get $1,000 for a decarbonization, electrification, anything related about the environment, climate change. So if you have anything like that, let me know, and I will try to get funding from them. So that would be another venue of fundraising. And also, if you have events and I can get Seafood City on Dempsey. I can get maybe the drinks for free or any snacks that they will donate to the WAC, and you can sell that, and all the proceeds will be yours. You just give me a heads up on when the events are, and I would know. I can get those on any events, outdoor events, and I can get those drinks or crunchies, whatever. And you can sell that, and the proceeds will be yours. That's another way of getting some funds. I think that's it. And thank you all, and looking forward and excited about the 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Appreciate the information. I did want to follow up in reference to the ARPA information. So I just was made aware of that too. So once I do get more information in reference to how that funding kind of works and everything of that sort, I will absolutely disseminate that out to you all at the group here at YAC to do that. Again, to you all, I think Councilmember, with her suggestion for the snacks and drinks opportunity, I think that's a great opportunity, as Chloe had mentioned, to be able to utilize that at our events. So that would be something we definitely want to communicate over to prepare for that. I think that's a great idea. So thank you.
Great.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember. Thank you, Anthony. So we'll definitely be keeping that in mind. So next on businesses is upcoming agenda items. So the YAC scholarship process and the work plan execution planning.
Yeah, so just to touch base on that really quickly, for the upcoming agenda item, I'll be talking more about when we're going to get out the scholarship information to the community so that people know how to apply, when to apply, and all the dates and information. And then along with that, like I said, when we come to our next meeting, we really will want to focus and emphasize on how we're going to plan to execute our events. So everyone, please do come prepared. Please do come with your ideas. We do have a lot of action items for everybody on here as well. So please make sure that we do so. But that's it on my end for that.
All right. So personally, I'll come prepared to the next meeting. I hope that all the other commissioners bring a lot of their great ideas to the meetings as well. Because definitely we're all in this together, you could say. So any comments from the other commissioners? All right, if not, then the final thing would be the adjournment of the meeting. So I motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:10 p.m. May I get a second?
So Thingy, you actually don't even have to call for a second.
Oh, I don't.
You can call the time and adjourn it. Yeah, it's a little rusty. You were with us last meeting. That's okay. So you can go ahead and call the meeting to adjournment and the time, and then we'll be good to go.
All right. So I, Feng Huang, call this meeting to adjournment at 8:10 p.m. Thank you all for coming and have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. You all have a great night. Have a good weekend, extended weekend. Take care. Thank you.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.